this place. Certainly, the hard is very emphasized here. Yeah, what gave you that? A desert and the ocean in a way? So we have to go through all this explanation. The thing is, I'm not going to skip through this because you might be a little bit confused if I skipped it, but I'm just so depressed over this because, oh god. Oh. And here we see the mechanics of following the stars to get to our destination, or get across the desert. By the way, this explanation is correct, but he gives us a memo later that is wrong. So that even the game is trying to confuse you and make you lose the game. He will give you a piece of paper that says incorrect details on how to make it to the oasis. Now, I do something really stupid here. Do you see that water jug there? That is water. We'll talk about this a little bit later. So after a while, yeah, so you need to drink water every so often so you don't get weakened, and the weakened point is you get weakened like battle fatigue. Like if somebody dies in a battle and you don't resurrect them by the end of it, that's what happens. A permanent death penalty. Well, until you rest in. So if we get lost in the desert, the Rakta will take us back. Okay, Horace, you are a very passive person. That's fine by me. Okay, now let us completely forget. our water and enter the desert. Let us forget to pick up water so we can drink in the desert. We will be walking these at a normal speed for a night or two, just to show how long each night is. So here's the gist of it, walking like this. Just keep on walking. Day 1. We walked following the North Star. And the North Star is approximately right in front of us. 0 degrees in front of us, but possibly maybe around 60 degrees at an angle of us. Maybe closer to 45. So you get random battlefields too, once you walk for a certain amount of time. But they're random. You'll usually get 2 or 3 a night. Here's some of the new enemies, the scorpions. They're like the crabs from the ship, except for more defense, chlorine attack, and they have a skill called Tornado, which I explained last episode, or not last episode, but the episode before that, where the Insector had the Tornado, and that has a chance of setting your characters to at 1 HP. That also applies to enemies, though, so that's what Tornado does. And of course, we have to heal through poison. Now, while I was in here in my inventory, I did not check to see if I actually had any water. Each time you enter a battlefield, you will get an encounter, usually within the first step, so you will never be able to avoid an encounter in a battlefield. But like I said, you only get 2 or 3 a night, so don't worry about it that much. The enemies are kind of difficult, but they're not impossible. And this is certainly very entertaining and why people love this game. I'm going to be speeding this up after the first couple nights. Like I said, it's just for the sake of the LP I have to, and showing you what I have to go through to do this. Also, I'm taking some damage here. This is not permanent battle fatigue, it's just giving me some damage. After 4 of these, I will need to take some water, otherwise I will, the next time that tick happens, it will be a permanent fatigue, so I'm not even in the right orientation of party members. And here's the Drac. He just, this is the Drac. Paralyzed by the heat. He can't do anything. He's just sitting here with a sword in his hand, shield in his hand, waiting for somebody to come along and kill him. And that's all there is to the Drac, unless you cast Remedy on him. I will show that later, I think at the end of the episode. But, very easy enemy. Magic really doesn't work that well against him. He has a fairly high defense, but I mean, he can't attack back, so just keep wailing on him, and you'll kill him. Seems kind of, evil of us to fight with somebody who can't fight back, but hey. We have a mission to meet God, and that is above everybody else, okay? You can't argue with that. What we're doing is more important than anything anybody else is doing. Ever. And that's number 3 tick. Number 4 tick. And here is where I realize that I, really aren't... I'm not really a very smart person. Alright. Yes. Let's just find my water here. This water who is hiding in this list. I did not forget it. And that's what happens if you use the Rakta, so I get to show that off at least. That's cool. Now let's grab some water. And actually, this is the third time. That was the first time that I went into the desert, but there was a second time I kind of screwed up, so I had to redo it again. And my sanity really kind of starts to slip when I'm doing this dungeon, I guess you could call it. So the easy way to get to the oasis is to... so we finally get some water. Anyway, the easy way to get to the oasis is to head to the North Star, face the North Star, and turn one to the right. And just follow that until you reach the oasis. That's the way to do it. I'm going to take a long way, because there are a couple items here in the desert which are very good. In fact, there's some of the best... Well, okay. There's one of the best items here in the desert. You can get it elsewhere. You can get it from fishing, hint hint. And you can get the other one from fishing, hint hint. But there's another item here that I kind of need to get, but I have to go back to the desert anyway. Anyways, we're finally able to fast forward this, and this solves things. I will not be adding battlefields into this. Day 1, we walk really fast. We need some water. We're following the North Star. I'm starting to question my sanity already. Another battlefield that's pointless. I will be adding battlefields where we see new enemies, just haven't gotten any of those yet, so... The sun has risen, we have to camp during the sun, when the sun's up. Go to sleep, and it's night again. So I guess it's the reverse of what we normal people... Well, okay, what you guys do in normal life. I do LPs at 3 in the morning, shut the hell up. If I was playing this at normal speed, this episode would probably be around 4 hours long. Considering that I speed up through the desert parts when I'm walking at 4 times speed, okay, maybe not exact 4 hours, but something like that. Anyway, here are some enemies we haven't seen. The cacti. I've already fought them in my second time through the desert, so that's why their health bars are appearing here. Magmite, yes, Magmite are high defense enemies. They're kind of like the things from the volcanoes. They have the backside problem that that the other ones do. High defense, hard to do a lot of damage to them. But Pico does a good deal of amount of damage because he has Rock Breaker on, and that destroys things. Ray learned Death, by the way. That is that instant kill spell that barely ever works. And after a battlefield or camping, sometimes the game will hate you and make you face in the wrong direction. So you just gotta realign yourself, and hopefully you remember which alignment you were at. Otherwise, you might have a problem. And here's a new battle. I just wanted to show off their backsides. What am I doing here? Oh, right. Oh, I'm showing off the death skill, too. Doesn't work. Ever. Never works. Also, those things do a fuck ton of damage with air raid because they have such a high defense. That did 1,052 damage, and we leveled up and stuff. Good. Let's get out of here. Except let's get that item first. Get the item diff. There we go. Ivory dice. Good. I never used that in this playthrough at all. That's fine, though. Ah. Day 2. We delve deeper into the desert. We walk really fast, and then we go to sleep. Then unforeseen forces taking the long route in the desert, rather than the one that makes the most sense and is the fastest way. And here we're heading to the west. This is not the direction to the desert, and it shouldn't be considered as such. More water. The reason why I'm taking damage after this is because if I don't, I will have problems. I can actually run out of the water by taking the long route. You have to be kind of conservative by taking temporary damage. Thankfully, this rest does get rid of any temporary damage and restores your AP and stuff, so you have plenty to go through battlefields. There really isn't any reason why you should die in a battlefield here, besides your own stupidity. Also, level up from a battlefield there. Okay, that's cool. Back to the world map, day 3. We're walking to the west. This is not the direction to the desert. Oh well. Another way to tell your way around the desert is to look at the patterns of the sand. Sometimes you will have to do this when it's too bright out, like when it's about to be sunlight, and you get in a battlefield or something and you hope you don't want to get realigned into a bad area and screw up your path. You can look at the sand and realize that you're going this way. And you can actually walk outside of the camp area, and you can get a choice of walking out when it's day or resting before you leave. You don't have to go inside the tent, but I usually do. So, day 4. We used 6 jugs of water, we have 10 left. I'm starting to really think I'm insane, and the game developers hate me. Another level up from a random battlefield that happened right when I was fast forwarding. I will be trying to add in all the level ups. I think I do it. It doesn't transition very well, like you don't see me going into the battlefield, but I really do do it at that point. Alright, another battlefield. Cool. And here! This is one of the items I wanted. But I can't pick it up because of this mother battle! Oh, stupid. I hate this. You have an item you're really looking forward to getting, then this cock blocker stops you. Life armor. This is one of the best armors in the game. It increases your health while you are walking. Restores it, I mean. It doesn't make it go up. You also, each turn in battle you get 1 HP. It's not a lot, but hey. Each step you take in the desert and also just on the world map or walking around in an area is going to give you 1 HP. I give it to Ryu for now, but I eventually give it to Ray, I believe, so... That is one of the items I wanted. Also, I wasted a water jug there. I got paranoid and forgot how much ticks I took. So I have to... I guess this is east. 1 This is east-northeast. I'm heading this way for a while. This is not my plan of usually going through the desert, by the way. This is, I give credit to, I forgot who wrote up this desert walking plan to get these good items. I think it's David 5K or something. Some guy who actually mapped this shit out. I don't know how he possibly did this. Also, I didn't realize I actually talked to my party members here. By the time I did it, it was already too late, and I couldn't make the footage back to normal speed. But I added subtitles here, so there you go. Pause it if you need to. What is this, day 5? Day 5. Damn it, this pisses me off. Effing day 5. Also, I thought I fought all the enemies here. Oh. Is this where I get rid of the Drac? Or, remedy the Drac. I think this is where I do it. And Ray does have magic attacks. They don't do a lot of damage because his intelligence isn't very high, and Bunyan isn't helping that, so... Not a very good magic caster, but, I keep him around for his Were-Tiger and speed and stuff, so not a big deal. Oh, and this is what the Croc tier does. It has a chance of restoring status. The chance is quite low. And here I remedy the Drac. It restored 5 health, but did not cure his poison. I did really bad on that super combo, but it still killed him. So you get double experience and double Zenny for doing that, I think anyway. Maybe I'm wrong, because those other enemies were added in, I forgot. That Croc tier was useless. Alright, well, back to the world map. Day 5, I think. I forgot. I lost track already. Day 6, I think, actually. Day 6. We are walking east-northeast, and that's basically all that's happening. Our party members are exhausted. And we're heading this way. Which is great. We're finally heading north the way we need to go a little bit, I believe. Woohoo, a level up. Back to heading here. I'm also following a little bit of the false North Star, because I do need to head east a bit. Day 7. Sanity is gone, completely gone when I'm playing this. It's hard to explain what state of mind I was in, but if you can think of it as a way as being brain dead when you're playing this from boredom, and mixing together that and how long it actually takes to walk through this fucking thing. Takes multiple hours. At least they let you save. Also, Pico learned Fire Breath. Woohoo. Onwards through the desert. This is the reason why I was dreading doing this LP, was the Desert of Death. This is the reason why I dread this game altogether. Still one of my favorite games, but this is some bullshit. This really is some bullshit. There is no excuse for this. I guess it makes the game more memorable, in a sense of frustration. It's a really big accomplishment when you reach the desert oasis. And I've went through this desert I've went through this desert maybe like four or five times altogether. And it's still, I hate it. I really hate it. It's an interesting mechanic, but I wish it wouldn't have been as long as it has. But like I said, it really does give a good sense of accomplishment when you do cross it. Finally get across it. And there is no guarantee that I will actually cross it either here. And we'll get onto that. I think this is day 9. We're at 2 water jugs now. 2 water jugs left. Yeah, we're not doing so good. When I was recording this, I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to go and redo all this. I genuinely believed that I would run out of water and I would have been fucked. And I really am contemplating here using the Rakta to go back right now. All this progress for nothing. I really don't know how this desert works either, to be honest. Somebody tried to map this out by steps. It was the David 5K guy, and he gave up. He gave up on doing that. I'm lost here. I have lost. I'm lost. This is really kind of what you need to avoid when you're going through this. If I went the simple route, I would have been at the desert already, but no, I had to get the frickin' life armor. It's good armor. Also, that's what happens when you take permanent damage. Look at that fatigue. And that was my last water jug. That is not good. Also, I was contemplating like just quitting, because rage quitting, because oh man, I was so pissed off at myself, so pissed off at everything. Also, there's a piece of paper on that table there. Those are the directions he left. Horace left you. Those are incorrect. Don't follow those. The things he tells you at the very beginning are right. You can't reach the desert that way. But the things on the notes are wrong. And here I'm just like, what? Why? I'm out of water. And I'm so close to the desert, to the oasis. I came all this way, and now I'm gonna have to go back. This pisses me off a lot. And really, we came all this way, all for naught. We could not be unluckier. Then again, it is my own stupidity that gave me this route. But what's this? Oh, more desert. This is no hill. Meet the Manmo. He is not very hard. I guess they kind of wanted to give you an easy boss for such a hard area. I do have a death penalty, though. Or what's equivalent to a death penalty on everybody. Anyway, you'll meet this boss when you are trying to cross the desert. I'm trying to resurrect my... I think I just was losing my mind at this point, to be honest. I could not think clearly at all. Like, if somebody went up to... If I, like, the UPS guy came by, knocked on my door, and I don't think I possibly could have answered it. Because I really probably couldn't have processed that somebody was knocking on my door. I could hear it. I don't think I could have processed that somebody was actually making contact with my door, that somebody actually wanted to talk to me. After I regained my sanity, I eventually just go all out on this guy. I am not fucking around with this guy, I just want to get rid of him. After I focus up a couple times, I'm just like, okay, I'm done with this shit. I don't even care about extra turns, just make me into a were-tiger so I can kill this son of a bitch. Also, this boss has more impressive horns than Gar. Also, what's with your eyes, man? Are you epileptic or... No, you have epilepsy eyes. I don't know what's with that. Disco ball eyes. A useless skill that you can learn, that we actually learned from Durandal. There we go. This battle's over. And the onion leveled up once again. Gave us Ares gloves. Those are very good. I think those are one of the best gloves in the game. But we're out of water. What can we do? Well, Nina is sick, we're out of water, and we haven't reached the oasis. We're, kind of screwed. We are, fucked up. Fubar, I believe it is. Anyway, something like that. So we just have to try again. And here's the Rakta. Well, let's go back to camp. Thank you, narrator. Random. Ryu, why the hell would you do that? Okay, so you get rid of chance of survival for everybody, and instead kill the only thing that will save everyone. So if we screw up, we're fucked up. We can't get back to base camp. We're screwed. Ryu the Rakta Slayer. Well, granted, I have dragon forms, I can just fly across the desert. And it looks like we are screwed. We are without water. Except we get scripted events, which is good. Ryu, you don't need to slice the Raktas! Ryu would be going over there to slice the Raktas, but he's so exhausted he can't do it right now. Ryu's just looking at that Rakta head, regretting that he wasn't able to kill that one. Alright, we made it across the desert. With very little problems. Well, you did. You little shit. I wish I could have been in your position. I'm sorry, viewers. I really shouldn't have said that. I'm just jealous that I'm just jealous. And we can go back through the desert. Alright, let's go. But let's just steal their water. Also, Ryu, stay away from the Raktas. You really don't need to slice them. So we're at the end game. The final dungeon is right in front of us. Right there. Except we're not going there yet. Not this episode. We got some extra stuff to do. Also, let's talk to our party members. Next, we're going to have to cross the sky. And a much-needed save is deserved. Alright, onto the container yard. We've actually been here before. Can you believe it? This area, is kind of an insurmountable waist-high fence. You'll see what I mean in a second. Just 1 second. This is some pretty crazy shit. So we crossed a desert, right? And we have a portal system, right? Just making that clear, we have a portal system. And we crossed the desert because there are no portals over here, right? Right? There are no portals over here, right? We haven't been here before, right? We've seen this crate before, we've walked on top of it. That is where we got, like, the Radiance Gene. Gar can break it if you make him walk into it. There you go. And now we can get back to all the other places that we've been. We couldn't jump 3 feet and avoid having to go through the desert. So, yeah. Sounds insurmountable waist-high fence TV tropes? Very much so. I don't know if I really have a problem with this so much as... I guess I kind of have a problem with this game when it comes to this, because you can jump off ledges in some areas. If you could have just jumped there, you would have had to avoid all this shit. You would have had to avoid 4 hours of frickin' boring gameplay. Anyway, a bunch of fairies were born because we fought so many things in the desert. We actually have 19 fairies now, which is 1 less than the max. You can have a max of 20 fairies. We're finally opening up some jobs that they can do as well. We're not going to be seeing much of the fairies until the bonus video. But, here. The population has gotten bigger. Also, a lot of managing and stuff. The rest of this episode will be extra stuff. If you want to skip it, go for it. Just gathering skills and doing some other stuff. Also, I'm getting my rewards from Dias. Very powerful fire skill. And that's what happens if you call her Mighty Mistress. Which is a stupid thing to call somebody. Anyway. let's get these skills. Blizzard and Inferno. High level skills. Spells. And, well, I think I'll let this next place, right here we get an encounter. Yes, if you know anything about this game, this is a super enemy. Often considered harder than the last boss. This is the area that has the two super enemies. They are rather rare to encounter here. Usually you'll just get tank bots, but you can encounter Berserker and Archmage. I will be defeating them in a later video, the bonus video. Not in this one, but the bonus video. So, we'll encounter that when we do. There are a few things that we have left to do in the desert, though. So let's go back into the desert. Fortunately for you guys, you can skip it. I cut out all the boring walking shit. Minus level ups. Ryu learned Vigor, which is a full heal for the entire party. Or I think it's mostly a full heal. So we got Death Claws. Well, really good and somewhat easy item to get for Pico. One of the best. That's a chance of instant killing enemies. Badass. Not bosses, but regular enemies. That's cool. And Ryu, right. Try not rack the Slayer. I mean, stay away from. Yeah, okay, good. I know you have compulsions to do that, but doesn't mean you should act on them. Another level up. We have another enemy we have another item here in the desert that I want. And here it is. Damn encounters! The Royal Sword. This is one of the best swords in the game for Ryu. It's the easiest, best sword in the game for Ryu. The best sword in the game for Ryu is actually considered by most to be mythological. Because there is a 1 in 256 chance that you can get it. And it's from an enemy that is very rare. We'll talk about that later when we encounter the enemy that has the best sword in the game for Ryu. But let's enter the last dungeon. The final area in the game. The only inhabitants are two robots that sell things. That's fine. So I'm just going to be doing some inventory in the rest of this episode. There are also a couple pieces of equipment from this guy that are very good. I have better stuff. Minus, I think... yeah, that Mind Shield for Ryu. And the Sun Mask for Ryu and Rei. I just optimize equipment for everybody, and now I'm just screwing around with accessories. So I'm just preparing for the final dungeon. We'll take on that final dungeon next episode. A little bit too much inventory preparation, but hey. I told you this episode would be partly extra stuff. It's not like it makes the episode any more boring after dealing with the Desert of Death. Also, join me next time after we have a spasm attack. Later, guys.